Stone Village. The Hidden Stone is known for its mastery of earth release and the rare, terrifying particle style. This village produced some of the toughest shinobi in the series, and the debate for strongest ever comes down to three names: Deidara, Mu, and Onoki. Deidara was explosive in every sense of the word. His clay creations were devastating, and his artistic C4 technique, tiny microscopic bombs that could kill on a cellular level, was deadly enough to challenge even the strongest Uchiha. But here's the thing, he only developed those techniques after leaving the stone and joining the Akatsuki. During his time as a loyal stone shinobi, he wasn't at that peak yet. Then we've got Mu, the second Tsuchikage. He was a master of particle style, could erase anything on a molecular level, and had the ability to completely erase his presence from the battlefield. This made him a deadly assassin, and in lore, he was considered one of the strongest leaders the stone ever had. But standing above them is Onoki, the third Tsuchikage, old, cranky, and with back pain so bad he could barely stand sometimes. But don't let that fool you. In the Fourth Great Ninja War, Onoki was the MVP among the 5 Kage against Madara. He was the one breaking everyone out of Gengetsu, the one landing the most damaging blows, and the one keeping morale alive when things looked impossible. Even Madara himself noted Onoki's power. What's even crazier is that according to the data books, Onoki actually got stronger with age. While most shinobi decline as they grow old, Onoki honed his particle style to a level beyond Mu's. That puts him at the very top. So the crown goes to Onoki. He was the backbone of his village, a legend who carried the weight of his people literally and figuratively on Rain Village. Omegakure, the village hidden in the rain, though not one of the 5 great shinobi nations, deserves recognition as a significant village. This small village, located in an unknown land, carries a history filled with bloodshed and tragedy. True to its name, it is perpetually shrouded in unending heavy rain. Omegakure's geographic location, situated between 3 great ninja nations, turned it into a battleground for countless wars. During the Great Ninja Wars, it became a site of intense conflict, leaving much of its population as war refugees. For many years, Omegakure was under the leadership of Hanzo the Salamander, a remarkably powerful shinobi. During the Second Great Ninja War, he single-handedly defeated an army from Konohagakure, sparing only 3 survivors: Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade, who would later become the legendary Sannin. Omegakure was also the birthplace of 3 significant figures: Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan. These war orphans were trained by Jiraiya and later founded the Akatsuki organization. Initially, Akatsuki was created with the noble aim of bringing peace to the ninja world. However, Hanzo, fearing the growing influence of the organization, conspired with Danzo Shimura from Konohagakure to ambush them. In a tragic turn of events, Konan was taken hostage, and Nagato was forced to choose between the lives of his 2 closest friends. Yahiko, unwilling to let his friends suffer, chose to sacrifice himself by impaling himself on Nagato's kunai. Yahiko's death marked the beginning of a series of tragedies. In his grief and rage, Nagato used his Rinnegan powers and the 6 paths of pain to slaughter Hanzo's entire army, although Hanzo himself managed to escape. Later, Nagato launched a brutal campaign of vengeance, using his overwhelming power to not only kill Hanzo, but also eradicate all of his family and allies. He established a new rule over Omegakure and turned the village into Akatsuki's base of operations. This land of endless rain witnessed many more sorrowful events, including the death of Jiraiya during his mission to uncover the truth about pain, and later the loss of Konan in her battle against Uchiha Obito. However, when Konan passed away, the eternal reign over Omegakure finally ceased, and a rainbow appeared. In the end, the souls of the 3 close friends, Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan, were reunited with their teacher Jiraiya at their old home. This moment symbolized that after all the pain and suffering the land had endured, peace would finally come to this scarred place. Their decision to entrust their dream of peace to Naruto marked the beginning of hope for a brighter future. Hot Water Village. Now we arrive at the Hot Water Village. Honestly, calling this a village in the same breath as Konoha or the Cloud feels like calling a noodle stand a 5-star restaurant. This place is tiny, barely shows up in the story, and doesn't even have a famous Kage we can point to, but it does have one very special export: Hidan. Yes, the immortal psycho from the Akatsuki came from this quiet little place. He wasn't strong in the conventional sense. He didn't have giant chakra reserves or deadly ninjutsu. What he did have was something far scarier: immortality through his twisted Joshin religion. Cut off his head, stab him through the chest, burn him. He'll still be trash-talking you like nothing happened. His real weapon, though, was the ritual curse. Just one drop of blood, and suddenly your life is tied to his. Stab himself, and you drop dead. That's how he took down Asuma, one of Konoha's best jonin. The craziest part? He did it with a smile on his face, treating murder like a performance. The truth is, the Hot Water Village doesn't give us any other names to even consider. Their strongest ninja by default is Hidan, and honestly, it fits. He's the definition of small village, big nightmare. If he lands a hit, the fight is already over. Honorable mentions? None. Unless you want me to count the villagers who probably prayed every day that Hidan never came home for dinner. Cloud Village. Kumogakure, the village hidden in the clouds, is one of the powerful forces among the 5 great shinobi nations. It was founded during the post-warring states period under the leadership of the first Raikage. This marked the beginning of a new era as ninja villages began to take shape and evolve into major centers of power. The relationship between Kumogakure and Konohagakure has always been tense and complicated, especially during the time of Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage, and the second Raikage. Kumogakure is known for its relentless ambition to strengthen its military power, often resorting to schemes aimed at stealing secrets and abilities from Konohagakure. This strategy led to several bloody clashes between the two villages throughout the First and Third Great Ninja Wars. One of the most notable events in Kumogakure's history involves the brothers Kinkaku and Ginkaku attempting to confront the Nine Tails. Although they failed to capture the beast, they created an extraordinary story by surviving 2 weeks inside the Nine Tails' stomach by consuming its flesh. This act not only allowed them to escape, but also made them among the few ninjas to possess the Nine Tails chakra. Driven by its ambitions, Kumogakure also carried out other daring schemes, such as the attempted kidnapping of Kushina Uzumaki to study her special chakra. Notably, the village made 2 attempts to abduct Hinata Hyuga, aiming to seize the Byakugan, one of the most powerful dojutsu. These actions only deepened the animosity between the 2 villages. In the past, the second Raikage and the second Hokage made efforts to mend the tense relationship between their villages and attempted to reach a peace agreement. However, this attempt was sabotaged. Eventually, the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju, fell at the hands of Kumogakure's ninjas. This event was not only a devastating loss for Konohagakure, but also deepened the rift between the 2 villages. Decades later, during the Third Great Ninja War, the 2 villages clashed once again. This was highlighted by the confrontation between A, who would later become the Raikage, and Minato Namikaze, the Yellow Flash, who eventually became the leader of the Leaf Village. Kumogakure's military strength is built on a foundation of lightning release techniques, considered the most powerful among the 5 elemental natures. Notably, Kumogakure is the only village to have 2 Jinchuriki who could fully control their tailed beasts: Yugito Nie, with the 2 tails, Matatabi, and Killer Bee, with the 8 tails, Gyuki. The paths of these Jinchuriki were far from easy, as they endured discrimination and isolation from their fellow villagers. However, thanks to their exceptional control over their tailed beasts and the support of the third Raikage, who adopted Killer Bee, Bee gradually earned the respect and admiration of his community. Even up until the Fourth Great Ninja War, when the allied shinobi forces were formed, tensions between the Leaf Village and the Cloud Village remained. However, the unique friendship between Naruto and Killer Bee became a crucial bridge for reconciliation. Their seamless teamwork in the fight against the Akatsuki and during the Fourth Great Ninja War helped to break down long-standing prejudices and animosities that had existed for generations. Grass Village. Now, let's switch gears to the Grass Village. Compared to the Cloud, this place is, let's say, quiet. No legendary Kage, no war-changing heroes, just a few side characters that slipped into the story. It's the kind of village you forget exists until Orochimaru shows up to ruin someone's day. Who do we even have here? First, Karin Uzumaki. Yep, she's from Grass before joining Orochimaru. Karin might not throw giant Rasengans around, but her abilities are sneaky powerful. She can sense chakra across huge distances, pinpoint enemies in the middle of a battlefield, and heal injuries instantly if someone bites her. Sasuke would have been done for multiple times if not for her bite heal trick. She's basically a walking medkit with an attitude. Then there's that random Kunoichi Orochimaru used as a body host during the Chunin exams. And, well, that's about it. She didn't exactly leave a mark in history, so we can't really consider her a serious candidate. So the Grass Village's strongest has to be Karin. She's not top tier compared to other villages, but when the best you've got is a chakra sensor who can heal critical wounds, you take it. Sometimes survival skills matter more than flashy ninjutsu, and Karin proved herself again and again in life or death fights alongside Sasuke. Mist Village. Kirigakure, the village hidden in the mist of the Land of Water, is one of the powerful forces among the 5 great shinobi nations. With its unique geography surrounded by towering mountains and perpetually thick mist, Kirigakure exudes a mysterious beauty, while also possessing a natural, impenetrable defense system that makes it difficult for intruders to approach. Under the leadership of 6 generations of Mizukage, Kirigakure has grown into a formidable ninja powerhouse, specializing in water release techniques. The ninjas of Kirigakure are renowned for their mastery of water manipulation in battle, turning their surroundings into lethal weapons. The village's foundation traces back to the post-Warring States period, when the first Mizukage laid its groundwork. Like Konohagakure, this village has experienced numerous upheavals. However, the darkest period in Kirigakure's history is often referred to as the Bloody Mist era. During the time of the 3rd and 4th Mizukage, Kirigakure became infamous for its brutal ninja training methods. One of the most notorious practices was the graduation ceremony at the Ninja Academy, where students were forced to fight each other to the death to be recognized as full-fledged ninjas. This policy created a generation of ruthless shinobi, cementing Kirigakure's fearsome reputation in the shinobi world. During this period, many talented ninjas from Kirigakure chose to defect, unable to accept the village's extreme methods. This led to the establishment of the Hunter 9 unit, tasked with tracking down rogue ninjas and preventing the village's secrets from being leaked to the outside world. The dark era of Kirigakure became even more complicated when the truth about Uchiha Madara manipulating Yagura Karatachi, the 4th Mizukage, came to light. Using the power of the Sharingan, Madara turned the young leader into a puppet, further plunging the village into chaos and violence. As a result of this bloody period, Kirigakure's forces were significantly weakened. During this time, the village's combat strength was considered the lowest among the 5 great shinobi nations. However, under the leadership of the 5th Mizukage, Mei Terumi, Kirigakure worked to rebuild its reputation and restore trust with other nations. These efforts helped the village reclaim its status as a powerful ninja nation. Despite its tumultuous history, Kirigakure remains home to many exceptional ninjas. Among its most famous is the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, the strongest swordsmen of the village. Each member wields a unique sword with extraordinary abilities, the most notable being Samihara, a living sword capable of absorbing chakra. The village is also known for producing unique talents such as Haku, a young shinobi with the rare ice release Kage Genkai. Known for his ability to perform hand seals with one hand, Haku was a formidable fighter in his time. His skills were so remarkable that Kabuto chose to revive him during the 4th Great Ninja War to fight against the allied shinobi forces. Sand Village. Sunagakure, also known as the village hidden in the sand, is one of the 5 great ninja countries in the ninja world. Located in the dry, vast desert lands of the Wind Country, it faces the challenge of scarce essential resources. Sunagakure is famous for its wind release techniques, which can be used with or without a fan, with the most notable example being Tamari, who is always seen wielding her massive folding fan. The history of Sunagakure is filled with battles and major conflicts, including confrontations with Konohagakure. Although not explicitly detailed, the poisoning attempts by Chiyo, one of the village's most experienced ninja, were thwarted by Tsunade of the Hidden Leaf. At the time, Tsunade, the strongest medical ninja in Konoha, was the only one capable of neutralizing Chiyo's poison. This made Chiyo feel both frustrated and impressed by Tsunade's exceptional skills, often calling her the little snail girl. Since the time of the second Kazekage, Tsunagakure had been researching and harnessing the power of the one-tailed beast, Shukaku, aiming to turn it into a weapon for the village. Under the reign of the fourth Kazekage, the one-tailed beast was sealed into the body of a newborn Gaara with the goal of turning him into a living weapon. This act eventually led to Akatsuki attacking the village to capture the beast. At the time, Gaara, who had become the fifth Kazekage, tried to protect his village, but he was ultimately captured by Akatsuki, and Shukaku was extracted from his body. Despite being outnumbered compared to other great ninja countries like Konohagakure, Tsunagakure maintains its strength thanks to the exceptional skill of its ninja. In addition to Gaara and Chiyo, Tsunagakure has produced other significant figures in ninja history, including the third Kazekage, who is regarded as the strongest Kazekage with his ability to control iron sand, the fourth Kazekage, who could use gold dust, and especially Sasori, Chiyo's grandson, who became a legend in the art of puppetry. Sasori created many puppets with special abilities, including a puppet modeled after the third Kazekage. He stained the sand with the blood of his enemies, earning him the title Sasori of the Red Sand. Later, Kankuro inherited some of Sasori's puppets and even used the artificial body left by Sasori, demonstrating resilience and the ability to develop from the legacies of past generations. Waterfall Village. The Waterfall Village doesn't get much spotlight in Naruto. It's small, tucked away, and honestly feels more like a tourist attraction than a real power player. But despite its size, it did produce two shinobi worth talking about, Kakuzu and Fu. Fu was the Seven Tails Jinchuriki, and on paper, that should make her the strongest of the village. But the reality is, we barely saw her do anything. She showed up, got captured, and then faded from the story. Being a Jinchuriki is powerful, sure, but only if you can actually control and use the beast inside you. On the other hand, Kakuzu was a nightmare. This guy lived for nearly a century by stealing hearts from other shinobi and stitching them into his body. With his Earth Grudge Fear technique, he had 5 hearts at once, meaning you had to kill him 5 separate times. Each heart also gave him access to elemental attacks, turning him into a one-man army. He tanked hits, unleashed large-scale destruction, and fought some of Konoha's best shinobi all at once. Oh, and let's not forget, he was the one who captured Fu in the first place. That alone proves he stood above her. So the strongest from the Waterfall Village has to be Kakuzu. He wasn't on the same level as the top Akatsuki like Pain or Itachi, but in terms of raw strength and durability, he was terrifying. The guy was practically unkillable, unless you had someone like Naruto spamming Rasenshuriken. Sound Village. Otogakure, the village hidden in sound, was founded by Orochimaru after he left the Akatsuki organization. Unlike traditional ninja villages, Otogakure wasn't originally a real village, but rather a complex network of laboratories and secret bases spread across various locations. Its main purpose was to serve Orochimaru's ambitions, allowing him to conduct human experiments in his quest for immortality and mastery over all jutsu. The ninjas of Otogakure are known for their unique techniques, most of which stem from Orochimaru's experiments to modify their bodies. This makes Otogakure a distinctive and unpredictable force in the ninja world. At the heart of Otogakure is none other than Orochimaru himself, one of the legendary Sannin from the Hidden Leaf Village. With his extraordinary longevity and terrifying regenerative abilities, Orochimaru is one of the hardest individuals to kill in the ninja world. While his combat strength might not always outshine others, his sheer tenacity and ability to survive make him nearly impossible to eliminate completely. Truly, he embodies the image of a mad scientist. Alongside Orochimaru is Kabuto Yakushi, a character as complex as his master. Although Kabuto was not born in Otogakure, he lived and conducted many experiments there after catching Orochimaru's attention. Under Orochimaru's guidance, Kabuto not only assisted with his master's experiments, but also explored and developed his own powers. The group also included Kimimaro, the last surviving member of the Kaguya clan, Kimimaro served Orochimaru with absolute loyalty. With his unique Kage Genkai that allowed him to control his bones, Kimimaro was chosen to be Orochimaru's next vessel before his terminal illness worsened. His special ability made him one of the important figures summoned by Edo Tensei during the Fourth Ninja World War. We cannot forget the Four Sound Ninjas, who became famous during the Konoha Crush arc. Though their screen time was short, this group was honestly pretty cool, and they stand as proof of Orochimaru's success in creating powerful warriors through body modification experiments. 10 years after the Fourth Ninja World War, Otogakure was rebuilt into a legitimate ninja village. The improvement in relations between Otogakure and other villages was demonstrated when Mitsuki, Orochimaru's son, was allowed to attend the Hidden Leaf Village's ninja academy and later became a genin of Konohagakure. Konohagakure, also known as the Hidden Leaf Village, is one of the most powerful ninja villages within the Naruto world. As one of the 5 great shinobi nations, Konohagakure is led by its Kage, the Hokage, and throughout its illustrious history, the village has been under the leadership of 8 Hokages. Representing the element of fire, many of its ninja are skilled in fire release jutsu, showcasing the unique strength of this land. The strength of Konohagakure comes from the diversity of its powerful clans. The Uchiha and Hyuga boast incredible dojutsu abilities, while clans like Akamichi, Aburame, and Inuzuka display unique combat skills. Additionally, the Nara and Yamanaka clans contribute exceptional strategic and support capabilities. From its foundation as an alliance between the Senju and Uchiha clans, the village has faced many significant events. It endured the devastating Nine Tails attack, which claimed the lives of the 4th Hokage and his wife, Kushina, leading to Naruto being chosen as the Jinchuriki. The Chunin exams brought an invasion from Otogakure and Tsunagakure, resulting in the 3rd Hokage's death at Orochimaru's hands. Later, the village faced the terrifying assault by Pain, whose goal was to capture Naruto and Kurama. Besides external challenges, Konohagakure also faced simmering internal conflicts. The discrimination between the Hyuga clan's main and branch families, as well as the marginalization of the Uchiha clan, led to serious consequences, including an attempted coup and the tragic downfall of the Uchiha clan. Despite these issues, the village remained relatively stable thanks to its foundational philosophy, the will of fire. This enduring spirit burns brightly in the heart of every ninja, a priceless legacy passed down from generation to generation. It inspires warriors to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, protecting the village and their loved ones. The Hokages, as the ultimate symbols of the will of fire, excelled in passing on this passion and dedication to the next generation. What truly makes Konohagakure extraordinary, however, is its continuous stream of exceptional talent. From Hashirama Senju, the god of shinobi, with his legendary wood release, and Tobarama's creation of dangerous forbidden jutsu, to the renowned Sanin. And legends like Hadake Sakumo, the White Fang, Minato, the Yellow Flash, and Kakashi, the Copy Ninja. These individuals not only shaped the village's glorious history, but also solidified Konohagakure's dominant position in the shinobi world. Hidden Stone. Among all the leaders of Iwagakure, one shinobi stands out as the village's most formidable Kage, Mu, the second Tsuchikage. While his student Onoki later became famous for his longevity and courage in the Fourth Great Ninja War, it is Mu's unique combination of stealth, sensory skills, and destructive power that makes him Iwa's strongest Kage. Mu's signature ability was the ultra-rare dust release, Jinten, a Keke Toda formed by combining earth, wind, and fire chakra. This technique generates a geometric barrier that disintegrates everything inside down to the molecular level. Almost no shinobi in history could survive a direct hit from dust release. Both Mu and Onoki mastered dust release, but Mu's additional abilities pushed him further ahead. Known as the non-person, Mu possessed the rare ability to erase all traces of his chakra while cloaking himself from sight, making him virtually undetectable to both sensory techniques and dojutsu. This made him undetectable even to the most skilled sensory ninja, or dojutsu users. In practical terms, opponents could neither see nor sense him until it was too late. Mu also possessed a unique ability to split his body into two real halves, each retaining half of his power. This technique allowed him to survive otherwise fatal situations, but at the cost of greatly reducing his strength. Still, it gave him a rare survival mechanism no other Tsuchikage possessed. His battlefield record proves his strength. In his lifetime, Mu clashed with the second Mizukage, Gengetsu Hozuki, in a battle so fierce that it ended with both Kage killing each other simultaneously. Centuries later, when Kabuto revived him in the Fourth War, Mu's presence was considered a major threat. Even Onoki, despite decades of experience, admitted he needed help to deal with his former master. Onoki deserves recognition for incredible feats, like obliterating 25 of Madara's Susanoo-clad wood clones in a single dust release. Yet, his difficulties against Mu's reanimated form remind us of the clear gap between master and student. Invisibility combined with dust release gave Mu an edge no opponent could reliably counter. For these reasons, the title of Iwagakure's strongest belongs to Mu, the second Tsuchikage. With the ability to erase his presence entirely and unleash dust release that disintegrates anything it touches, Mu stood as the ultimate weapon of the Hidden Stone. Hidden Mist. The history of the Hidden Mist is marked by brutality, secrecy, and warriors hardened by relentless conflict. Yet among all Mizukage, one figure stands apart as the village's most powerful leader, Gengetsu Hozuki, the second Mizukage. Unlike many who ruled through fear alone, Gengetsu combined charisma with a devastating arsenal of techniques that turned every battlefield into his personal stage. His rivalry with Mu, the second Tsuchikage, defined his legend. Their legendary clash ended in mutual destruction, a testament that Gengetsu could match one of the most dangerous shinobi ever to walk the battlefield. That alone establishes him as Kirigakure's strongest Kage. Gengetsu's strength lay not only in raw power, but also in deception. As a member of the Hozuki clan, he inherited their trademark ability to liquefy his body. Blades and fists passed harmlessly through him, and he could alter the size of his limbs to deliver crushing blows. But what made Gengetsu truly terrifying was his command of illusion and misdirection. His signature summon, a giant clam, blanketed the battlefield in a hallucinogenic mist. Within this haze, opponents saw mirages and false duplicates, unable to distinguish reality from trickery. Even elite sensory shinobi struggled to detect him, while the genjutsu persisted. This allowed Gengetsu to dictate the flow of battle entirely on his terms. He paired this with one of the most devastating techniques in the series, Yoki Boy. This water and oil clone relentlessly detonated, reformed from the steam, and detonated again, creating an almost endless cycle of explosions. Each detonation carried enough force to devastate entire platoons. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, when his reanimated form confronted the allied shinobi forces, it took the combined efforts of Gaara, Onoki, specialized sealing teams, and an entire division to finally restrain him. Yagura Karatachi, the fourth Mizukage, was a perfect Jinchuriki of the three tails, but his abilities were never fully shown. Manipulated for much of his rule, his legacy is clouded, and his feats remain limited. In contrast, Gengetsu Hozuki left clear evidence of his power-dueling Mu to the death in life, and overwhelming an allied division when revived in the Fourth Great War. For these reasons, the title of strongest Mizukage belongs to Gengetsu Hozuki. His legacy is one of a cunning strategist and overwhelming force, a shinobi who turned combat into a blend of spectacle and slaughter. Gengetsu's legacy is remembered for his mastery of illusion and explosive techniques, but the Bloody Mist era was a product of the fourth Mizukage, Yagura Karatachi, whose reign defined that notorious period in Kirigakure's history. As a leader, his illusions and devastating explosions secured his place as one of the deadliest Kage in shinobi history. Hidden Cloud. Among all the leaders of Kumogakure, no figure looms larger than the third Raikage. His name is etched into history not only as Kumo's greatest protector, but also as one of the most resilient warriors the shinobi world has ever seen. He was the embodiment of raw endurance, overwhelming power, and the indomitable will of Kumogakure. The third Raikage's reputation is built on feats that remain among the best documented in the series, each one a clear demonstration of his strength and endurance. His most famous act came during the Third Great Ninja Ninja War, when he faced a near-impossible situation. His comrades were trapped, surrounded by an army of 10,000 enemy shinobi. To secure their retreat, the third stood alone on the battlefield and fought the entire opposing force by himself. This was not a skirmish that lasted minutes or even hours. It stretched for 3 full days and nights. By the time he finally collapsed from exhaustion, not a single enemy had managed to cut him down. The only wound he ever carried was self-inflicted when his own spear thrust pierced his chest. He referred to the resulting scar as his mark of shame, the single imperfection on a body otherwise resistant to all external attacks. This gave rise to the titles most often linked to him: the strongest shield and the strongest spear. His shield was his own body, reinforced by lightning release chakra that toughened his skin to a level approaching indestructibility. Even Naruto's Rasen Shuriken, an attack sharp enough to shred cellular structures, left only minor damage when used against him. His spear was his one-finger lightning thrust, an attack so concentrated and piercing that it was said to be the only weapon capable of breaking his own defense. With this balance of ultimate offense and defense, he became a walking paradox, an unbreakable wall and an unstoppable blade contained in a single man. The third Raikage's strength was not measured only by durability. Despite his enormous size, he was remarkably fast. His reflexes allowed him to dodge even Naruto's Rasen Shuriken when thrown at close range, a feat that speaks to reflexes on par with Konoha's fastest. Compared to his son, the fourth Raikage, the third matched him in speed, but surpassed him in stamina and staying power. Where the fourth was famed for short bursts of overwhelming acceleration, the third could maintain his pace for days without collapse, as his legendary 3-day battle proved. This combination of speed, strength, and durability made him one of the most balanced close combat fighters ever produced by any village. The Eight Tails itself later acknowledged the third Raikage's extraordinary resilience. Rather than relying on sealing squads or Jinchuriki control, he fought the tailed beast directly and forced it back into submission. Very few shinobi in history have been able to withstand a tailed beast in single combat, and the third Raikage managed it repeatedly, reinforcing his reputation as Kumogakure's most durable and reliable defender. The respect he earned extended even to his enemies, who regarded him as a force of nature rather than just another man. While the fourth Raikage, his son, carved his own legacy with lightning-fast reflexes and brute strength, there is no evidence he surpassed his father. For all his ferocity, the fourth never equaled the sheer mythical endurance that defined the third. For these reasons, the third Raikage is remembered as the strongest Raikage of Kumogakure. He turned his body into the ultimate weapon, a juggernaut who could shield his people through willpower alone. His lightning release armor was more than a combat method. It embodied Kumogakure's strength and determination. His reputation endures not only within the cloud, but across the shinobi world, remembered as the Raikage, whose endurance and willpower were unmatched, and whose life ended only by his own hand. Hidden Sand. Within the history of Tsunagakure, the title of strongest Kazekage belongs to Gaara, the fifth Kazekage. While the third Kazekage was long regarded as the most powerful of his era due to his unique iron sand technique, the feats shown in the series make clear that Gaara ultimately surpassed him. The third Kazekage studied the power of Shukaku, the one-tail, and developed iron sand, which Chiyo described as the most dangerous weapon in the village's history. Sasori of the Akatsuki admitted that killing the third was his hardest battle, despite eventually turning the Kazekage into a puppet. These points established the third as a formidable figure, but his reign ended in an ambush, and his accomplishments were confined to his time. By contrast, Gaara's strength is demonstrated repeatedly and against threats far beyond what earlier Kazekage faced. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, he defeated and sealed his father, the fourth Kazekage Rasa, who admitted that Gaara had already surpassed him. Gaara also faced the reanimated second Mizukage, Gengetsu Hozuki, whose illusions and explosive clone posed a serious threat to entire divisions. By applying his sand with precision and coordinating gold dust, Gaara managed to restrain him, demonstrating both strength and tactical judgment. His most significant tests, however, came later against Madara Uchiha. Gaara repeatedly used his sand to protect the other Kage and even restrained Madara's Susanoo constructs. During Madara's meteor attack, he He supported Onoki by using sand to shield many comrades, helping reduce casualties. His stamina and chakra reserves remained remarkable even after losing Shukaku. Beyond his large-scale defense and offense, Gaara distinguished himself as a leader who united people. He overcame the hatred that marked his childhood, inspired his village, and became a central figure in the allied shinobi forces. No other Kazekage has shown the same level of strength against such high-level opponents or left as much influence on the shinobi world. For these reasons, Gaara stands as the strongest Kazekage in Tsunagakurei's history. Hidden Leaf. The title of Hokage has always been associated with power and responsibility, but no figure embodies it more than Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage. Revered in his own era as the god of shinobi, Hashirama's abilities and accomplishments placed him at a level unmatched for decades after his death. His legacy shaped not only Konohagakure, but the entire shinobi world. Hashirama's greatest strength was his unique wood-release Mokutan, a Keke Genkai formed from the combination of earth and water chakra. Unlike ordinary techniques, wood release allowed him to create massive forests, construct fortresses, and most importantly, suppress and restrain tailed beasts. With this power, Hashirama captured several tailed beasts including Shukaku, Matatabi, Isobu, Son Goku, Kokuo, Saiken, and Chome, and distributed them among the other villages. By doing so, he established a balance of power that helped maintain stability for generations. No other Hokage before or after demonstrated such complete control over these creatures without external seals or hosts. His defining battle came against Madara Uchiha, his closest friend turned rival. At the Valley of the End, Hashirama defeated Madara despite Madara wielding the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and controlling the Nine Tails through his Susanoo. That fight carved the valley itself and became the most famous duel in shinobi history. Madara, one of the most formidable shinobi ever, could not overcome Hashirama's combination of wood release, immense chakra reserves, and sheer stamina. Hashirama was more than just raw power. Hashirama also possessed Sage Mode, a transformation he could enter without hand seals. Although the series shows it only briefly, this state further increased his physical power, heightened his sensory perception, and strengthened his wood release techniques. Combined with his naturally vast chakra reserves, Sage Mode enabled Hashirama to maintain large-scale battles for extended periods, setting him apart from most shinobi of his era. Equally important was his vision. Hashirama founded Konohagakure alongside Madara, with the dream of ending the cycle of constant warfare between clans. His ideals of unity and cooperation became the basis of the Will of Fire, a philosophy that guided every Hokage after him. While later Hokage like Hiruzen and Naruto carried that spirit forward, it was Hashirama who first turned it into reality. For many years, no Hokage surpassed the scale of his feats. Even in the Fourth Great Ninja War, when Hashirama was revived, his presence commanded respect and recognition as the standard to which all others were compared. His power to restrain tailed beasts, defeat Madara, and shape the shinobi world secures his place as Konoha's strongest Hokage. Hidden Reign, Omega Cure, the strongest leader. Although Omega Cure never had an official Kage, its leaders held comparable authority within the village, sometimes even being referred to as gods or lords. The history of Omega Cure is defined by conflict, but no figure represents its peak of power more clearly than Nagato, known as Pain. While Hanzo of the Salamander once stood as the village's warlord, it was Nagato who surpassed him decisively and reshaped Omega Cure under his control. Nagato was born an orphan during the Second Great Ninja War and later awakened the Rinnegan, a dojutsu that granted him access to techniques few others in history possessed. Using the 6 paths of pain, he controlled 6 separate bodies simultaneously, each capable of unique abilities. The Diva Path wielded gravity manipulation, using techniques such as Shinra Tensei, Almighty Push, to repel attacks or annihilate landscapes, and Chibaku Tensei, Planetary Devastation, to imprison targets in massive spheres of Earth. The Prita Path absorbed ninjutsu, The Asura path transformed the body with mechanical weapons. The Naraka path restored damaged bodies, and the animal path summoned a wide range of creatures. Together, these 6 bodies functioned as a coordinated force that overwhelmed even elite shinobi. Pain's most infamous act was his assault on Konohagakure. With one Shinra Tensei, he leveled nearly the entire village in a single strike, something no other shinobi had achieved. Before that, he had already defeated Jiraiya, one of the Leaf's most capable Sannin, using the 6 paths in unison. These feats placed him far above Hanzo, who by that time had grown complacent and was swiftly executed by Nagato without serious resistance. Under Pain's rule, Omegakure became isolated yet secure, with constant rainfall maintained by his chakra as both surveillance and deterrence. His presence turned the village into one of the most heavily guarded locations in the shinobi world. For these reasons, the strongest leader in Omegakure's history is Nagato, Pain. Through the Rinnegan and the 6 paths of Pain, he demonstrated combat abilities on a scale that no other rain shinobi matched, ensuring his legacy as the village's most formidable figure. Hidden Sound, Otogakure, the strongest shinobi leader. Otogakure, the Hidden Sound, was founded by Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin and a former Hokage candidate of Konohagakure. Though not officially recognized as a Kage, Orochimaru's position in Otogakure was effectively the same as a Kage in the major villages, as he held absolute authority and shaped the village around his own power. He built the village as a base for his research into forbidden techniques, and no other sound ninja ever surpassed him. Orochimaru's strength lies in his unmatched knowledge of ninjutsu and his pursuit of immortality. His most notable forbidden technique was Edo Tensei, Impure World Reincarnation, which allowed him to summon and control past Kage. During the invasion of Konoha, he used this jutsu to summon the first and second Hokage against Hiruzen Sarutobi. In battle, Orochimaru displayed extreme durability and regenerative ability. He could shed his body through the oral rebirth, Kuchiosi, Sanju Rashomon combined with body replacement, or transform into a giant white serpent. His ultimate form, the 8 branches technique, Yamata no Jutsu, manifested as an 8-headed serpent that required the Totsuka blade of Itachi Susanoo to finally seal him. Even after apparent defeat, Orochimaru survived through fragments of his consciousness placed in curse marks and his subordinates, enabling his eventual return. His combat record demonstrates Kage-level ability. He assassinated the 4th Kazekage, Rasa, before the Konoha invasion. Against the 3rd Hokage, Orochimaru forced Hiruzen to use the dead demon-consuming seal, Shiki Fujin, at the cost of his own life. Later, Orochimaru fought Naruto in his 4 tails form and withstood blows that would have killed most shinobi. Beyond personal power, Orochimaru amplified others through the Cursed Seal of Heaven and Cursed Seal of Earth, granting his followers enhanced abilities by infusing them with Senjutsu Chakra. His Sound 4 and Kimimaro are examples of shinobi elevated by his techniques. For these reasons, Orochimaru is the undisputed strongest figure from Otogakure. His mastery of ninjutsu, forbidden techniques, and survival beyond countless defeats secure his place as the village's dominant leader.